You don't have a choice.
Hit that record button.
It's going.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Everything you say is on record now. Hey, welcome to the Rotating Tab Comedy Podcast. I'm Steve Vanderplug.
I'm Corey David.
We are here at Denver Beer Company with Patrick and Charlie. Say hey, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Nice. Nailed the first segment
Yeah,
of the
really
show.
good.
You guys are actually
Good
doing better than
start.
some other people have, surprisingly enough.
Oh, well, first time's a charm.
Yeah. So could you guys just do us a favor, a quick little intro, like with who you are, what you do here at the brewery?
I'm Patrick Crawford. I started this brewery with Charlie 9 years ago now.
Okay.
Awesome.
In what capacity, when you say you started it with him, like who was doing the brewing, who was doing the money, who was doing the...
Well, we're both just like really redundantly non-efficient. That's how we like to operate around here.
Yeah,
the two powers combined.
Yeah. So originally Charlie had a lot more brewing experience than I did, so he did a lot of the brewing, and I did some of the books and the business side a little bit more. But now we just we have a great team, and
Now you just do podcasts, regrettably.
Now we do podcasts.
Well, we sit in the sunshine and drink some beers too.
Yeah,
There's
that's
nothing
nice.
wrong with that.
Yeah. Charlie, how about you?
Okay, yes, happy to be here with you guys and all of your millions of listeners. How many listeners you guys get in these days?
It's actually 2 million. You don't have to slap us in the face like that.
Okay, well, just starting it out here, gentlemen. You know, you told us you were going to razz us.
I know,
We're
you're
going to
right.
hit you back. We're going to hit you
good.
back.
We'll
Okay.
see if we can get a battle of wits going by the end of the show.
Okay, so yeah, 9 years ago, Patrick and I started Denver Beer Co. We brewed a bunch of batches down on our little Platt Street tap room, and now we have tap rooms in Old Town Arvada, Cerveceria, Colorado, and we're sitting here at our production brewery in the Sunnyside neighborhood, where we do most of our cans and kegs out of.
It's giant. They showed us a little tour. We'll have some pictures and stuff up online. It's so cool.
Yeah, there's tanks. They're made of stainless steel. There's cans.
There's
kegs.
empty cans. There's full cans.
Things you've never seen at a brewery before.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It looks like a lot of breweries,
Yeah.
but
Especially the Oompa Loompas they've got running around
Yeah.
back there.
They're sitting here. So Corey and I just opened a beer, and they're looking at our horrible
Yeah,
pours on
going,
the phone. They're like, "Oh, these guys are amateurs."
Yeah.
So yeah,
We
pretty
never
good.
claimed to be professionals. So you guys had a podcast going for a little bit during quarantine too, right?
we called it a video. It wasn't
Virtual
so
happy
much
hour?
podcast, but it was actually a video, sort of a Zoom situation. Was it Facebook Live? We used this. We was on Facebook and YouTube. We did live interviews with a bunch of folks. And
Yeah, it was fun.
drank a lot of
We had
beers.
some great guests. Our guests were better than we were, I think.
I mean,
John Hickenlooper is probably our most famous
Yeah.
guest, and it was a blast to drink a bunch of beers with him on the internet.
we understand the guests being better than us, so
Yeah.
we know how that goes.
We had funny comedians like Kevin Heffernan from the
Oh
Broken
yeah,
Lizard.
I
and
saw
Super
you guys
Troopers
have
guys.
that poster up from the Super Troopers too.
Yeah, so he was
yeah.
funny. Let's see if you guys can be funny.
Oh boy.
Hardly.
So
I can be funnier than Super Troopers too, but I don't know about the first.
Well, you know.
Charlie and I met at Colgate University in upstate New York.
Oh, tight. I'm from Baldwinsville.
Okay, cool.
right outside
Oh yeah,
Syracuse,
nice.
yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Awesome.
And those Broken Lizard guys, Heffernan being
Yeah.
one of them, all went to Colgate.
Cool. Awesome.
So that's how we know those guys.
I did. I actually went to the premiere of the second one. I did think it was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's very good. It didn't, box office. There was a comedy production company here in Denver called
Yeah.
Sexpot
Yeah.
that helped put that, and they put that out, and now they no longer exist. So
Oh, yeah.
What a
bummer.
bummer. Is the Colgate equivalent to like dropping out and being successful Super Troopers compared to like Stanford, and it's like they start Microsoft and Apple and all that kind of shit?
I think the Colgate equivalent is starting a little brewery.
That's good though. Did
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
drop out?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say
you know
the
who
drop
dropped out.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
who dropped out was Ben from Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
He dropped out of Colgate.
Yeah.
Oh really? Oh, that's funny.
you
Is
know,
he the one that passed away from diabetes?
Oh, I don't know.
One of them dropped out of life. In
Yeah.
addition.
Gooey.
This is everything in moderation. How about that?
Sure. And as you say that, as we have 10 beers in front of us.
Okay.
That's true.
And you guys are. Sounds
Still-
like you're accepting our 8% challenge today. So
9%.
9%, but it falls. The only rule is that it's above 8. We haven't really gone into specifics about if it's over 10 or 11. If we're gonna shave off any more time, we also don't want to kill anybody on the show.
Yeah.
Either.
If you chug a bottle of Everclear, we'll take 10 seconds off your time.
Take a lot more off that than that.
All right. So is this a shotgun? Okay. So you
We can
guys
do
talked
that
us
now. We
into
can keep.
shotguns, or-
I figured like, why
Yeah.
don't you guys so that way you can have a beer and then we can start talking
Okay.
about some other
Okay.
stuff
So
too.
is this a shotgun or is this a chug? Straight up chug. I don't think it's gonna come
Do you have
out
a
of can.
preferred method?
Yeah, however you want to do it.
Are you gonna let the cat out of the bag at any point?
Yes.
Right now?
After the fact.
Okay.
We impress these guys.
Oh wow! Oh no! All right, here it goes.
Oh,
Hold
we
on,
gotta
hold on,
do-
hold on.
we
We
gotta
gotta
do
get
one
the
at a
timer
time.
going. He's
at a time.
anxious. Do you
Yeah,
do this
this
in the
is-
morning too?
Well, I've just got you guys got me so.
Making the
amped up
shout. Nice.
Got me so
Wow.
worked up here that
He's a
Oh,
pro.
yeah.
You
He
can tell.
sprayed me a little bit.
I was gonna s-
Could be worse. Could be water.
He's got the yard sprinkler effect. He's losing about 4 ounces.
Just keeps cutting it open.
It's been a long time since I've
That is
shotgunned
the
anything.
you're using that weapon you're using right there. I think was my groomsman gift to you at my wedding, right?
There we go.
That's great. See, at least it has a use. You
A
know.
little multi-tool comes around full
I
circle.
use it all the time.
Hopefully, you, shotguns were done
is
that
sharp.
night with your multi-tool as well.
I didn't see
He's
this.
not even using the knife.
And by the way, Charlie was
For
the
those
one
of you
that
guys
did
out there,
propose,
yeah.
like, does it have to be out of the glass? Like, before we started the show, I'm like, you can shotgun it if you want, but I think he was laying in wait. Like, you were waiting for me to ask you
Yeah,
that
you guys
question.
know how you set up. Sometimes a joke has a short setup, and sometimes a joke has a long setup.
Yeah.
And we're about to see, I think we're about to see the punchline come, come right now.
We gotta go one at a time.
So we go one at a time so we can do them individually. So here's here's the way we do it. You're gonna shotgun. Steve's gonna stop it as soon as you're done for obvious reasons, and then you're immediately gonna tell us the joke that you planned.
This
Oh,
is
okay.
appropriate.
You have your
yeah,
canoe.
we're all
Yeah.
dialed in.
Okay.
Hey. All right, you tell me.
Charlie's going. 3, 2, 1, and he's on it.
Oh yeah.
I really love the way that we just turned this into a frat party.
Pretty good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the difference between? Sorry.
How much beer's still coming out of that can?
What do Coors Light and having sex in a canoe have in common?
Waiting
What?
for it.
They're both fucking near water.
Yeah, that's good. Little beer industry
good.
lingo. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right.
That was
reset.
fun. You look
right.
unhappy, but
Yes,
thrilled with how well it.
Yeah.
Thrilled with how well it went initially, but now you're
Yeah.
looking a little.
That carbonation level.
It's high.
Yeah.
I could tell it was foamy. It was.
there's a
It literally
warm one.
sprayed all over the porch. So
Yeah, taste it.
yeah, we got to taste this guy too. Yes. I can chug the
Drink
rest
that.
while
Hold
you're
on.
doing that.
Wait till I'm. Well, we can go together. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Oh yeah, like a champ sideways, just feeding like a cow off a teat.
Is there still beer in the can?
Yeah, that was a fail.
Okay,
I
that's
failed.
all right.
That's all right.
It's all right. You could still
Well,
technically crack the
You know,
top 10.
we're gonna have to top 10.
Yeah, you can still with the 3-second add a nice called an audible.
You guys have 9 guests so far.
No,
Well-
depends on how. We're up to like 50 chugs. So
All right.
yeah.
Well, I gotta chug the rest of this one.
Well, my my joke is gonna be.
It wasn't that shotgun.
It's kind of a joke.
I thought it was a
no,
combo.
no, it's perfect.
I thought it was a combo deal.
So, so these big Juicy Freak cans.
How's it taste?
Well, this one, Juicy Freak itself, I've had before and I'm having it now. It's fantastic. I couldn't wait to. I didn't know how long we were gonna take to get into the chug, so I'm just gonna.
So
drink
as
it
you
out of the can.
pour that big Juicy Freak in your
man.
glass, so we
Ah,
got
get the
cease and
hell outta here.
desisted. So we got cease and desisted with this big Juicy Freak, and so we filled up these cans full of water.
Which
So
makes
that was our joke.
which makes my joke
That's our
pretty
bag
appropriate.
joke.
there,
Yeah,
pretty
that's good.
appropriate.
I like that.
Yeah, that's the seltzer water. Do I still crack the top 10?
I mean, let's see here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just kind of, I think, review the data and then,
yeah,
okay.
and then
So,
be able to make a variance out
I
of it.
think
That was
we-
good. You guys got the. I wasn't expecting that at all.
have the long play on that.
Well, how many times do you expect somebody to give you a double IPA and you crack it open and it's actually water?
Yeah,
It's
straight up.
actually- I know. That's what we drink all day long, or bubbly waters in big Juicy Freak
Well, I
cans.
don't blame you.
All right, I'm ready for a beer.
All right,
now,
so
though.
now we
Yeah, I
can.
was gonna
Now,
say,
maybe
now
we need to,
that
maybe
you
we need
got
to redo.
Now that you guys have had that
What do you want?
anticipation
I'm
going
good
for
for it.
long enough. Well played, sirs. Well played.
Yeah. I love a good prank. That's pretty good.
I like that you
Solid
still
move.
asked me, even though you knew you could see into my glass that it was still beer. He's like, "How is it? How is it?" You're just itching to get that out of the way.
Yeah, you poured it out, and I was like, "That is clear. That is a clear beer."
Hold that up to the camera for me, if you will.
What
That
do
is
you guys-
definitely water, and it's soapy water. Wow, you guys really got me. That's nice.
No, it's actually that's like lime flavoring, but it
Oh, I
probably
know,
tastes a
I'm
little soapy in there. Maybe
It's,
all this other
it's
stuff.
good. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the beer more though.
We'll
Yeah,
have to
the beer's
reevaluate.
better.
I mean, do you want to? We can give them their times, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do the 3 seconds.
Yeah, maybe
No,
not.
I
No.
don't-
That
Probably
was
should
just
be
my-
negative 7
There's
seconds.
a
or
Houston
something.
Astros asterisk next to this jug.
Totally.
I don't appreciate
Yes,
it.
very large ass.
I'm not gonna lie though, despite it being just water, it's really high carbonated, and that still did hurt. That
Yeah,
still
yeah,
did
yeah, I'm
hurt,
still
by
in
the way.
pain.
I can tell
Yeah.
you had a.
I will tell
I
you
don't
that you did crack the top 10.
Oh
Yeah.
well, but add 3 seconds maybe for fucking with you guys.
No, I wouldn't do that. I was gonna say fair is fair. You still chug something.
No, I'll get another one.
We'll
in before
we'll
this
talk
is over.
about this. Okay, yeah, that's great. Perfect.
I would still
more
count it.
chugs.
If somebody, I mean, so many people are making seltzers now that if somebody wanted to use that as their chug, then I would totally be down for them to do it. You know.
What do you guys think about the seltzer thing? Do you like them?
I'm a fan in essence that like there's some that I love, there's some that I'm indifferent about, but as long as there's enough people that want to drink them, it's more money going to the breweries as opposed to some other category, right?
Yeah.
And it's cheap as fuck for you guys to make, so there's really no point in not doing it. It'd be the one thing if the ingredients were just like through the roof.
Yeah.
By the way, your eyes are watering. And did you ever actually did you tell a joke?
Well, my joke was the punchline of our water.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Classic
Yeah.
comedy bit.
We can add 3 seconds to his time. Mess it up.
He's not going in the top 10 for sure.
That's okay. That's okay. But we do.
What do you
appreciate
get
the
if you're in
effort.
the top 10? Let's be honest.
It's bragging rights, man.
Bragging rights, yeah.
You should have seen Kevin at Dry Dock after he cracked the top. After he landed in the 2 spot, he like walked out into the tasting room and just like announced it. To, like,
I actually
everybody.
didn't realize
Yeah.
Kevin was in the 2 spot. Now that's some motivation here.
Yeah,
That's
he's
some
number
motivation.
2, and he's upset about it too. He was
Oh,
like,
who's
he was
number
like,
one?
Number 1 is Matt from the Pite Room, one of the managers down there.
Okay.
He crushed it. So
You did just blue ball me a little bit too. I was like, man, I could go for a big juicy freak right now. I could go for a double IPA. That sounds great.
sorry.
Did you guys? How orchestrated was that? I gotta ask. Like,
Just at the time you said you were like, 3 seconds if you have
but that's
8%
quick-witted
beer.
of you, though. You were just like, wait a minute. I know we've got some fake, some big juicy.
That's
freak
when it
fans.
happens,
Just
yeah.
like eureka moments. That's a wonderful thing.
So what other beer are you using it for?
Well, I
So
guess what as a
Mexican
question
lager.
would be like, what do you guys want to use for your feature beer, so that way like we can save that for when the time comes.
Tartalite.
Tartalite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay,
save
Cool.
that.
I'll take whatever one you.
So you want a Mexican lager?
Take this guy. So
I'm gonna
I know
say
you guys have come
Yeah.
like. So you said it was 9 years, right?
9 years ago on
That's
on
so you
Platt
guys are that's a long way to come. So congratulations on
9
that.
years,
10
yeah,
years will
that's
be
awesome.
dope for you guys and excited for you.
That's true. And
Hopefully
it
we
will be
can
2020.
have a fucking party. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully this parking lot's big enough, right? Just tell everybody to like just space everybody out.
Mhm.
Stay apart. Yeah.
Tie a 6 feet rope to everybody that comes and tell everybody to walk
Yeah.
towards the outside and you'll be fine. But what's curious to me is that you guys have just like a way different brewery setup and maybe just business plan than a lot of other places in Colorado, with having multiple locations, having multiple brands within like your one
Yeah.
umbrella. Is there like an umbrella academy, an umbrella company that you guys have a name for and then all the other brands sit inside of it?
I think so, but the umbrella company is Denver Beer Co.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah, makes sense.
Because you got the Cerveceria, which
Yep.
is just the one downtown, right?
Yep.
right.
And that opened what, a year and a half, 2 years ago?
No, 2.5.
2.5.
2.5, yeah.
Man,
Mhm.
I used to
In May.
I used to do caterings there. I used to deliver food over there before
Sweet.
it was. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
in the barrel room?
Yeah, when it was the barrel room. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool.
See some like weddings and stuff in there. It
Oh,
was-
yeah.
But I think it was a smart move to go to the Cerveceria.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. Cerveceria Colorado. It gave us a platform to use a different voice, and
God,
it's
I
been
wish I had a
super fun.
platform to use a different voice.
Sometimes. We should just add a filter to your voice in post-production on all the podcasts.
Yeah, I'm Mickey Mouse.
You said you bought that mic for voiceovers, like you were going to break into the voiceover game?
I still want to try to do voiceovers.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Just
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
Just depends.
I think you have
that's-
a cool voice.
Yeah, thank you. See, some people care.
Well,
Korey?
you'd mentioned maybe if like somebody was like crisis actor, like a fake Corona recovery person.
Yeah. I think that'd be
That could
great.
be you.
Yeah. Get me on some of those political ads coming out.
Yeah.
I had coronavirus.
Corey Gardner did this to me. Start
Yeah.
making up some shit.
Exactly.
Now,
yeah.
with Cerveceria Colorado, like, at what point did you guys say, this doesn't live within what we're doing at DBC, and we wanted to make it its own thing? Like, where did that take place?
Just right from the beginning, yeah. I mean, so Jason, our head brewer, had been doing a lot of beer judging in Mexico and made friends with a lot of Mexican brewers.
And the cartel, or
Well, it's a little unclear, actually.
I
There
did see
may be one that has some associations that we don't know all of.
Sure. Yeah.
I did see a
Yeah.
Cocoa
We don't
White
know.
Ale back there, so if you want to pour that onto the table at any point in
Oh,
time,
yeah?
that'd be
Okay.
great.
So we'd made friends with all these Mexican brewers, and we had been really inspired by all the cuisine and the flavors of Mexico. And people have been making only German beers or only Belgian beers for a long time, and we thought to ourselves, well, heck, why don't we make all Mexican-inspired beers?
Yeah.
And the bridges not walls, which we put on all the top of our cans, is something that means a lot to us,
Yeah.
Especially in the current
statement.
climate.
Yeah.
And so we believe that beer really brings people together, and what a better way to celebrate than with the flavors and all the cool stuff that comes out of Mexico. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I love it, especially because, I mean, what do you guys make of it seems like there's a recent a recent trend of more Mexican lagers being out there in general. Was that kind of happening at the same time that you guys launched all that? Or it seems like it's come on like way more in the past like 2 years, but.
Maybe so,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, here's the thing. We really want to invite beer drinkers who are maybe only used to drinking Mexican lagers or light lagers to come and experience what craft beer can be.
Yeah.
It's culture as much as it is a flavor profile. So,
Yeah.
we think there's some good Mexican lagers out there, of course.
Yeah.
But it's really fun to brew and to drink, and we wanted to do that.
Fun. Yeah.
I have some exciting news. First pumpkin beer of the year.
Hey,
Yeah!
it's September, so it's okay, I guess, right?
Oh, I mean, Korey hates it. I am a big fan of.
I'm good for like 1 or 2 a year,
I'm a
but then
basic
I'm just
bitch.
I'm an Oktoberfest guy.
Yeah.
I like Marsden's, I like Fest beers, Viennas, like all that kind of stuff.
Those are making a big comeback this year. I think a bunch of breweries released like Oktoberfest styles of beer this year.
Yeah, well, pumpkins took like a big drop like 6 years ago, where like everybody and their mom started making one.
Yeah, it was 1 year, and it jumped the shark.
Yeah.
There
there's-
was a pumpkin issue a couple years ago.
Yeah. There's.
And then you couldn't buy pumpkins actually for a while.
Was that the pumpkin issue?
No, there was another so there was 1 year that everyone overbought all this pumpkin beer, and all the liquor stores were selling pumpkin beer till January, and then the next year, they refused to buy pumpkin beer. They bought very small amounts of pumpkin beer.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's been weird, and it's really hard to manage a seasonal beer that lasts such a short amount of time
Yeah,
from a business
absolutely.
point of view.
Oh, totally.
But,
Absolutely.
If you care about the business point of view,
Do
then
you guys
you're
do
probably
like
in the wrong
a cinnamon
industry. I don't
sugar
know.
rim on any of these at all?
We've done
or-
it at the tap rooms, for sure.
Yeah,
It's delicious.
Do you like lick
Yeah.
the whole rim and then have
I
a
mean,
sip, or
you
have them
can-
re-dip it, or what?
You can lick the whole rim if you want to.
That's how
Maybe
Korey
just
does
sip
most
through it.
things.
Maybe just sip it a little.
Yeah, just like no matter what it is, just get all around the circle. Just a big fan.
Uh-huh.
Tongue
Yep,
up
that's how
the
you-
whole margarita glass.
Oh yeah, see, he's doing my bit right now.
yeah. He's gonna sell you some koozies after
Yeah,
the
I got some
podcast
merch
is
for you
over.
guys to buy out of my trunk after the show's over.
This is delicious, by the way. There's pumpkin beers can be real all over the spectrum. This is really good.
Sweet.
It's right
Thanks.
on the spot. Yeah.
What do you
All
like
those-
about it specifically, Steve? Tell us in beer terms if you can.
Yeah, beer's cool. No, it's
It's a cool beer.
The flavor, it's not like super heavy. Like some people do like imperial pumpkins, and that's usually when I get lost. It's too much for me.
It's just like too much spice or too much cinnamon or what?
Too much spice. Yeah.
Yeah, just like overwhelming.
I don't really ever like taste the cinnamon notes per se.
Sure.
But the pumpkin flavor, and it's like light too. It's not it's just those heavy pumpkin beers that I just can't do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I mean, so what would you say is like the difference between yours and something else that somebody put out there?
Well, ours is super approachable. I'm not saying that's different than all of them, but
Sure.
ours is a reasonably low ABV, 5.4.
Yeah.
It's not overspiced. It's got the pumpkin backbone,
Yeah.
but it's also still a beer
Yeah.
at its core. It's got that maltiness. It's got that sort of breadiness that
Yeah.
comes from.
Well, you had asked me earlier, what do I think of all the seltzer stuff? I guess
Yeah.
I'd have to ask you the same thing. Like, how much of, and I don't want to put you guys on the spot or whatever, but like, how much of what you make is driven by like market demand, and how much of it is about what you actually want to make?
Ooh, good question. I mean, 3 years ago, I was floating down a river, and my friends had brought some
Naked?
seltzer, naked, and just a life jacket only.
Yeah. Nice.
And people,
Just went
we were
from 6 to
drinking.
midnight. Jeez.
Who was I can't remember which one we were drinking, but we were drinking a seltzer, and I thought like, hey, I think we should make a craft version of this seltzer. Like, these are starting to gain traction.
Yeah.
Like White Claw was like starting to become cool. Like, not everyone was drinking it, but you could tell those cool people were bringing it to the pool or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we decided to make one.
There's a time and a place.
But now I can't drink that stuff. I just hate it.
When you're naked on a raft, you probably enjoy it.
I can't even tell
That's
you.
why they
the last time I've
kicked him
had
out of the
one.
raft. Actually, it was because you're like, dude, put some clothes on.
Yeah.
But I guess that's my thing is like, so, I mean, you guys make a lot of really great beers and you're very popular around the city and all the places you distribute. But like, where did it start, I guess, in essence of like, what did you want to make initially and how has that changed over the years in terms of following trends? And
Totally. I mean, every craft brewer at their core, and Patrick and I are brewers at our core. We love making beers that we like to drink, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we do all the time in our tap rooms and honestly, in our packaged products as well. If the market were to tell us that, hey, that if we brewed I don't know, I'm trying to make up something here, just some nasty cherry bomb, sweet.
hey,
Yeah.
Sam Adams
Yeah.
Cherry Wheat had a very special place in
That-
my heart
yeah, that
when I
maybe-
was 18 years old.
It's not something that gets me excited out of bed in the morning. I think we'd think hard about putting that in a can.
Yeah.
We have to love it. We have to get behind it. We have to go sell it. We have to make it, and you have to smell it every day while we're brewing it. So if it's something we don't like, it's not probably gonna make it
Right.
past our.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, recently on the show that we did with Ska, actually the owner of Ska was talking about how he doesn't particularly care for like the seltzer movement and light hazy IPAs and things like that.
Yeah.
So his employees actually had to tell him, "You got to stop talking shit about our seltzers to people."
Oh, really?
Because
we're
we
trying
need
to sell them?
these. Yeah.
Is that Thibodeau?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
He's an
Good.
honest man. He's an
Yeah.
honest man.
Oh, he's super honest. We
Yeah.
had him read one of his bad Untapped reviews about one of their low-cal hazy IPAs that was just like, "Fuck these beers. Stick to your roots, Ska. If you want an IPA, just take the calories." And
And
Dave's like,
he
"Yep,
agreed.
yeah, I agree."
Agreed wholeheartedly. Yeah.
I'm kind of on board.
Yep. Yeah. Hell
Yeah, we haven't done the low-cal thing. That doesn't feel that authentic to me. That low-cal
No,
thing.
I think that's just a trend too. And Epic did their high cal, like
Oh,
a
did they?
500 calorie.
Yeah, good for them.
How many calories was that?
Oh, I don't even know.
It
but
was
it's
over
called
500.
Super IPA.
Yeah.
500
So,
calories.
Yeah, they just
Wonder
were
how you
like,
even
we
get that
don't.
in there.
We hate this trend, and I don't know. They threw a whole pig in.
Mostly Big,
Yeah.
mostly Big Mac sauce.
Yeah.
They throw in the fermenters.
They'd have to do something. I don't.
Was there stuff that like, and this kind of leads me into one of our regular segments about the beers you hate the most, but was there anything that you guys thought was going to be like, man, this is going to be a huge hit, this is going to take off, and then it just never really did?
Yeah, we did our Sun Drenched, which was like, it was the pre-low-cal session IPA. You remember a few years ago with session IPAs?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's probably
yeah,
6
yeah.
years ago or
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, like
But it was like-
founders hit it big, and then everybody
All
was
day,
like, oh, we
yeah.
got to get in on
Mhm.
that, like kind of
Yeah.
action. So I guess what was it? And then
We
what did
really
you-
liked the beer. It was a wheat beer, kind of an American wheat beer with a nice high hop to it, but it was hoppy enough to be in the IPA space. It didn't really take off for us.
But it's still a session.
Yeah, low ABV.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
a session. You guys don't serve that.
Well,
one anymore.
5%. Is that a session?
I don't.
I think
so.
session is technically like 3.4 below.
So
but
no,
I
it was
don't
not
know
a
what
session.
it is.
We
at
called
that
it- I think
time,
we
it
screwed
was-
up
Anything
in-
I can chug in less than 5 seconds.
We
is a
called it
session.
an So we didn't even know what to call it because it was like a hoppy wheat beer, and we called it an exploratory ale, and I think that just confused people.
Yeah, and also sometimes if you put wheat on the packaging, wheat's one of those weird ingredients that if you put it on the
People
label,
are
people
avoiding it.
get weird about it, right?
I
It's
did-
like rye.
Yeah.
We had a great rye IPA. I think it was one of the most flavorful, delicious beers we've ever made. But people did not buy it because it said rye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that happens a ton, especially with rye beers. But as soon as somebody, I mean, a lot of hazy IPAs now are made with like, they're oats. There's definitely wheat and plenty of them.
Yeah.
But if you put that on the packaging, people, I don't like. You have that
People avoid wheat. huh?
stubborn like beer guy that thinks he knows a lot. He's like, I don't drink wheat beers. It's like, yes, you
Right.
fucking do.
I
Like,
bet.
don't-
I wonder what it would. I wonder what people would do if you put the word barley on your beer can. They'd
Probably a lot of
they'd-
people wouldn't buy it because
They
it's
probably
barley.
would
the fucking barley.
They
Oh,
probably
that
would
has
not.
gluten.
on,
They'd be like,
girl.
that has gluten in it.
They
I
probably
don't wanna
wouldn't
drink
know
that."
like what it actually. Like,
I
why
don't
did they
know
put
that peop-
barley on? Why did they put the word barley on the beer?
This is barely beer. Oh, I don't want that.
Nobody knows how to read anymore.
So
So,
just stop putting the ingredients.
Yeah, it's
on
like
there.
the seltzer that you just tried to chug. It's barely beer.
Right. There you go. There you go.
So what's the deal with the seltzer company? Like, so you guys have like
Yeah.
your own line of seltzers too, right?
Yeah.
So is
Mhm.
that like, again, what the names of those are different? It's not DBC seltzer, right?
O and A.
O&A, okay.
Short for out and about.
Okay. Okay.
And the-
I thought it was Opie and Anthony.
I know that's the problem.
I think we googled Opie and Anthony. Well, they're two guys just like you guys.
Yeah,
they're
the same.
funny though.
Not nearly as successful.
I think most people
They don't have their
know.
own podcast.
They got a whole radio show.
They're done now, though. They've been done for a while.
Yeah, it's
Too
But anyway,
bad.
it's been a long time.
I think
yeah.
that
Rest in
wound up.
peace.
They ended up their relationship at gunpoint. So I think Steve and I'll probably wind
Yeah.
up. There.
Yeah.
I'll be Opie, short for opiates, and you'll be Anthony, short for Tony.
And that's why Steve's a comedian. All right, everybody. Speaking of guns, we did have a gun pulled on us at one of our shows.
I
not that
didn't.
long
I
ago.
was doing a great job hosting a show, and you ran across the parking
I was
lot.
trying to break up a domestic violence incident that was happening across the park. We've been
While
doing-
you guys were filming the pod?
No,
No,
we were
this is
doing
a live show,
We're
a
doing a
stand-up
live
show.
show, so there was a
Oh
my
crowd
gosh.
and all that, and somebody started yelling at their baby mama, like from across the parking lot.
Oh my
I
gosh.
found out that this was the case, like once we got there, kind of deal. So at one point in time, this guy, like, they're just shouting at this point. So it's like, at this, I didn't feel good about just like interjecting. I'm like, they're handling their shit, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he picked her up and brought her behind a building that we couldn't see them. So me and this other dude,
Hero of the story.
Sure.
all right, I mean, it gets worse. But like, so we run over, me and this other guy who I don't know, run over there. And when we get over there, the dude that I was with grabbed a rock. Don't know why he did that. So when he did that, the boy
that
that
seems
You don't
like
know
an
why he
escalate.
did that?
Well, that's
I-
potential to
Well, I
escalate
feel
it.
like we could
That
just
was a
like, I
weapon.
feel like we could have just confronted the
Yeah.
situation and it would have been enough. But the dude that the other guy was with, he saw that and went and grabbed a
Oh
gun
my
like out of the
God.
car. And then I grabbed this dude by the shoulder. I'm like, hey, just so you know, they grabbed a gun from the car. We should probably go. And this guy's just shouting at us,
Yeah.
flashing his piece. And he's like, tell your buddy to put the rock down. I'm like, yeah, you're right. That was a dumb move. I just want you to know we didn't talk about that, like beforehand,
Yeah.
like before we came over here. And
Yeah,
meanwhile,
right. You sent him the ice. You pulled on your earlobe. You're like, get the rock.
grab the rock.
A rock.
And meanwhile, local comedian Dr. Kev was in the middle of his set just trying to talk to people in the crowd. He's like, oh, I wonder what's going on over there.
Dr. Kev's a real mild-mannered. He had a couple shows on Animal Planet, and he's just a real mild-mannered, soft-spoken, great dude, awesome dude. He used to, he was a bouncer for the Rolling Stones
Huh.
back in like the 80s
Cool.
and shit. Cool dude. And then,
I wouldn't hire him to be my vet, but I would probably call him if I was ever injured in something illegal. And I was like, hey, Dr. Kev, I kind of need some help.
Oh, so he's a doctor. There's something
He's a real doctor?
about him.
He's a vet.
oh yeah, he's
Well,
he's,
that-
he's a world-class veterinarian. He had multiple shows on Animal Planet. So.
But then he became a
got
bouncer.
you.
No, he was a bouncer before.
Oh,
Keith
before.
Richards paid for him to go to vet school.
Oh,
I mean, it
cool,
would
because that
act-
was his dream, and that's awesome.
Well,
good
no,
for
I don't think it was his dream. I think Keith Richards was like, dude, your body's going to fall apart if you do this for the rest of your life. Like, what else can you do?
Although Dr.
Go to
Kev's like
vet
at least
school.
in his 60s, so if anything, he would actually be very appropriate to be a Rolling Stones bouncer like right now.
Huh, cool.
Definitely age
There
appropriate.
you go. Yeah. Well,
with
that's
the-
why I never bring a rock to a gunfight.
That's good. There's a joke. We'll cut
Whoa.
it in.
Oh, there it is.
We'll cut it
30
in.
minutes later.
So the seltzer brand is O&A, not Opie and Anthony.
Not Opie and Anthony. We have 2 flavors in 6-packs. It's our black cherry and the lime. And then also a mixed pack that also includes
Thanks for
dragon
saving some of
fruit.
the pumpkin beer for me. by
You
the way.
talk too much shit about it.
And the
That's what you
mango.
get.
So that's the jam.
The mango?
Mango. So that's the four in the mixed pack. Is
Cool.
Mango, dragon fruit, black cherry, and lime.
I have not had a dragon fruit seltzer yet. That
it's
sounds
good.
delicious.
That's
That sounds
my
really
favorite
good.
of our seltzers.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing the natural flavor route, or are you adding fruit, or what?
Natural flavors. So they take there's a company that takes all these fruits and they smash them up and they freeze them, and then they distill all of the like essential oils and stuff out of the fruit, and that's what we use. So it's real fruit smashed up, like distilled, and then we take that and put it in the seltzer.
Awesome.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
So it's all natural.
So
Organic
so you
flavor.
just have you have
Tastes
a
good.
place you get or a company you work with for natural flavors, right? And then
Yeah.
what was that process even like of figuring that? Is that something you guys had experience with before?
Well, we have an awesome head brewer, and yes, we make flavors all the time
Sure.
and put different things together. And
But we don't put them in our beer.
No, that's true.
Haven't you had some like variants though? Haven't you had like some Princess Yum Yum variants?
But usually you use like just whatever natural ingredient.
You
whatever
like
ingredient.
99% of the time with our beer we're using real fruit and stuff like that.
Yeah, Princess
But-
Yum Yums, all real raspberries. It's a ton of raspberries. We buy
No, a literal ton, 2,000 pounds.
it's 2,000 pounds of raspberries in a 120 barrel batch,
You got a raspberry guy.
Oh, we have contracts. We have year-long contracts.
Somebody
for
moved some
raspberries.
serious weight, so when the farmer's market runs out, you can blame DBC.
Yeah.
We're now getting people are crushing Princess Yum Yum. That's our #1 selling beer.
Oh yeah, I didn't doubt it. It's the one I see the most around
And
town.
How many? To be honest, though, how many people like I know people who drink it because of the name?
Good.
Like that's great marketing.
Oh, really?
Oh
What
yeah,
is
yeah.
it? What's Princess Yum Yum?
What is it to you guys? It's the
Well,
beer.
you said it
now.
because of the name. I'm like, why are you saying that? I thought maybe it was like a reference to something that I didn't understand.
Well, you don't understand much. No, that's the name of the beer. It's
That's a cop out.
I don't. To be honest, I don't remember what kind of beer that one is.
Raspberry Kolsch. Simple
Kolsch. It's
Kolsch
Kolsch.
beer with just a ton of raspberries.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I know like multiple women specifically who are always like, I love the name. I'm gonna have that. Where it's like, okay, you don't, I don't know what the beer is. They don't.
Yeah, we clearly didn't bring enough beer out here.
Yeah.
We just
sorry,
have gone
we're
through.
just
We
motoring
should
through
have.
stuff. So
we should've
two
brought more
things.
beers.
Two things I do want to ask.
We can go get more.
You can always go get more, right? And if you guys got to get up to use the bathroom or whatever, do that too. So two things I want to ask.
Just gonna
Whenever
piss under the
somebody's
table.
do that, that's fine. This is your place. This
All
is your
right.
house. The dog's already pissed on my leg. Willie.
Did he?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was
might
me
have-
actually.
I was
I
gonna
did
say that might
Sorry,
have been
Willie.
Steve.
Are you still here, Willie?
You don't need to blame Willie for that.
So anytime somebody is using natural flavors, I always have to ask if you ever want to do a collab with Rotating Tap down the road, where we could do a Doritos mix pack. That would be fantastic because they use like all kinds of natural flavors. So if that's ever,
Brought that up.
I've definitely brought
What
that
kind
up.
of Doritos?
Just because
flavor?
you black out on every episode doesn't mean that I haven't brought it up.
It's Cool Ranch.
Yeah, Cool
Cooler
Ranch.
Ranch.
It's got to be Cool
All
Ranch.
right.
I think classic too, because
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Cool
definitely
Ranch.
people that want those. I mean, there's got to be a chili lime in there.
Okay.
Spicy Cheetos.
I think
Could
we
be a
just
whole
figured-
series.
I think we just figured it out. So if you want,
That would be a
Right.
good seltzer. Just a whole lineup
of Dorito flavored
of
and
Dorito,
Cheeto
and Cheeto
Cheeto
flavored.
Do it.
Just
I don't know how sour
the
cream
trend.
and onion would work.
Are there
but
hit?
There wouldn't be a pothead in Denver that didn't buy a mixed pack of that.
True.
talk about getting on
This
a
is a
trend.
good
guys.
idea.
Tell me when we can put it on the brew schedule.
All
Well, I
right.
got a poke bowl for lunch today, and a topping was crushed up hot Cheetos that I could have gotten on my poke bowl.
Oh sure.
It is tasty.
Yeah.
Really? Sure. I was like, I
mean,
looked at
yeah,
that and
hot
said,
Cheetos
really?
on everything.
Really?
Man. Yeah.
So that's a thing, huh?
It's because
Hot-
Steve
hot
lives
Cheetos
under a
on mac and
bridge.
cheese?
It's whatever snacks people throw away in
whatever
the garbage,
just
really.
washes up ashore, I'll eat for the most part.
My croutons
I was
means
just
the
thinking,
leftovers of
are there
potato
any
chips.
like chili seltzers that you guys know of?
Well, seltzers, I don't know. We do chili beers on the
Right,
regular.
right, but, like,
no,
I'm
I don't
talking
know
like-
about a
Chili seltzers.
Yeah.
No,
So
this
that's-
is good. Chili, hot Doritos, Cool Ranch Doritos, and sour cream and onion Pringles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be a good
Changing
line.
the
That'd be a
game.
mix pack.
Yeah, for sure.
Again,
just didn't know
whenever
about
you
that.
guys want to do it, this continues to be a joke, but we keep talking about it.
I feel like it would. I
Barbecue,
think there's a chance it would sell like
All right, so you would definitely have to like figure out the right flavor combinations and tweak them how you'd see fit. But as long as you came up with like the idea of this would be the Cooler Ranch one, this would be like chili lime one, whatever the hell it would be, I think that's
It
definitely
seems
an
like there's an
opportunity for
event here, just kind of a pairing event.
10-year
if you will.
anniversary
Yeah, pairing
coming
event.
up.
that. Yeah, so the next time we come here, we'll just have an entire table full of snacks and
yeah. We should have had some snacks here
and some blank seltzer, just some regular like
Yeah.
non-flavored seltzer, I think.
to put Doritos into.
Have you guys ever
That's good.
done a chili beer?
You just said that.
Yeah, a lot.
You did.
Charlie,
It's like one of my favorites. I used to go to the when I was the head brewer. We used to go to the just over on Santa Fe and just buy just bushels of hatch chilies,
Oh,
roasted
yeah.
hatch chilies, and put them in the. I like to put them in the bright tanks for just a little bit of time, but the flavor changes as the beer sits on the chilies.
Sure.
Now we have Poblano Pills over at the Cerveceria.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
super popular.
Yeah. Do you notice that the flavor changes more with like vegetables than it does with fruit?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Fruit,
I can't
fruit
account
like
for that,
ferments
so-
out pretty well.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's always yeast left in our beer. We don't sterile filter anything, so it'll change with. But usually by the time the beer's ready to drink, it's all fermented out, and so there's not as much change. But if you put like a vegetable, we've brewed with cucumbers, we've brewed with chilies. Oh man, what other vegetables we brewed with? All kinds. But that flavor. Steve, do you even know the name of a vegetable?
Apples.
Steve doesn't even know. what vegetables are.
Oranges.
All right,
Cheetos, yes.
All right, good.
Spicy margaritas.
Well,
Bullseye.
I guess so. My question with the vegetables, I guess, or peppers specifically, would be how much do you have to worry about there being some kind of DMS type flavor that somebody would find just be like, that's not great, right? Like, it seems like that'd be so close that.
Yeah, we brewed with cooked cabbage. One little pilot batch.
Is that a St.
tasted
Patrick's
just
beer or
straight
what?
like DMS. That's all it was. We were so surprised.
This corned beef porter just didn't move like, like we thought it would. So
we've brewed with some funny things over the years. We've brewed with lobsters.
Yep.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
yeah, all right. So
That's
elaborate. Come on, go ahead.
Were they live? What do you?
Yeah, lobsters, oysters.
You can hear the
oysters.
screaming from across the parking lot.
we made an oyster stout, and then we ran the knockout through a huge batch of oysters,
Well,
and then ate all the oysters. They were delicious.
So when we bought the brewery, the actual physical equipment that makes the beer, the brew house up here at the production brewery, we were bidding.
I like how much you dumb it down for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I
I can just
appreciate
see
it.
the glassy look in your eyes over there. Just kidding.
It's the same one that Patrick had when he was done chugging his beer.
Yeah.
Or his
Just
seltzer.
watery eyes.
Tearful eyes all the time.
we were bidding a couple of.
You can look at me while you're talking.
we were trying to decide which brew house to buy, right? And there
Yeah.
were a couple manufacturers that each had different cool things about them, and we kept on telling one, "Oh, we really like yours, but thank you very much. I think we're gonna go with the other guys." And they would come back with, "No, don't wait. What? We can put that feature on our brew house. We'll do it. And then we'd say, "Okay, well then sure. Well, I guess that sounds good." And we'd tell the other guys, "All right, we changed our minds. We're going over here." And they would say, "No, well, we'll just put that feature and an upgrade, and we'll send you a case of lobsters." And so that was actually what maybe finally sealed the deal with the brew house that we have now. But you know how many
Was a
lobsters
case
are
of
in a case?
lobster?
Yes.
I
Well,
don't.
that is a legit question.
I'm Colorado born and raised, so I have no
Yeah, I
idea.
couldn't tell by
100?
that tattoo.
Yeah.
So what we did is we invited, I think, about six.
Is a
or
case
seven
is a
friends.
case 100?
We invited about 6 or 7 friends.
sorry.
over. You can tell good stuff.
Corey.
We get 6 or 8. We get 6 or 8 buddies over,
I answered.
and we start this drinking, right, and having a party, and we open up this box, and there's probably 40 lobsters in there.
They're less than 100.
But there were
There's a
6
lot.
or
But
there were
there's
8 of us.
Too many for 8.
And we just
Wait,
started.
Twice
just
as many
enough.
lobsters.
I mean, if
you
get
too many,
ambitious.
too many lobsters.
Oh, we were boiling them, and they don't save till for days.
No,
right?
no,
So
no,
we
you
just
gotta
start
go.
boiling these lobsters up and just eating the good parts, and just taking shots of whiskey out of the lobster bodies, and it was quite an event.
That's
That's
a fucking
pretty
party.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Fun.
Yeah.
We had a good
Fun.
time.
Yeah, it sounds like
It is really fun at that age in life to be in an empty warehouse with all your friends, and the only things that are left are like what the previous people left you. It's really fun.
Oh yeah.
We had rolly chairs,
Yeah, that's
fire
I was gonna
extinguishers,
say, yep. There you go. Just
and so the goal, we tried to see how far the fire extinguisher would spray you across the room.
Yeah.
The answer, not as far as you think.
And then the whole room is full of all the fucking
dust. That
chemicals.
the fire
it was worth
extinguisher
it.
dust.
It was worth
Yeah,
it.
that was fun.
And then you
Yeah.
just run full speed from across the room and try to ram chairs into each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Totally.
And then I think, what else do we have? A baseball bat,
Whiskey,
a football, and some
more
whiskey.
whiskey,
Yeah,
lots of beers.
that was fun.
It was
Drinking
fun.
whiskey out of a lobster claw might be the most baller thing I've heard on
There's
this
the
podcast.
body.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
the
even
whole
still,
body,
it's like
yeah.
drinking whiskey
I like
out
the
of a
claw,
lobster.
though. That has a better.
That's some real Maine
Sounds
offshoreman
shotgun.
shit.
These glasses are cool, but we're gonna demand lobsters next time
No,
we
that's-
swing by here.
That's really tight. Before you finish that, because I had a couple things I wanted to talk about, but I know you had said that beer in particular it was near and dear to your heart. It's the Laughing Lab Scottish Ale.
Yeah, so I just went in the back, and this was in the employee beer lunch fridge. So I hope I'm not drinking someone's lunch beer. Thank you if I am.
Too late. You can put it
But,
back right
yeah.
now, I guess. It's like, who opened my lunch?
But I had a friend who kind of taught me how to homebrew, and the first batch of beer I made by myself was a copy of this Laughing Lab Scottish Ale. And then I saw this in the fridge, and I thought, what a great beer to drink for our podcast here.
Because somebody's got to be laughing, right?
Yeah, and
The dog.
this is
Bristol's one of
classic.
yeah, Bristol's one of the old school Colorado beer brands. They've been around. Probably got to be 30 plus years.
Yeah.
But
And
Scottish
this is
Ale
back when you named your beers, like you put your dog on your beer,
Yeah.
and like your canoe and all that.
I don't
The
know how
original
good a,
Instagram.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know how good
yeah,
a
yeah.
Willie beer would be. Like, drink my Willie. You know,
Yeah,
that's not
right.
the best.
But so that beer in particular, like Scottish ale, something you don't see a ton. I mean, you just don't see a lot of like British, Scottish beers, and unless I can get it on cask. Like I'm usually you just don't look for it. You know, like someplace like going to someplace like Hogshead's really nice because they do it the right way. But it's just they seem to fall out of fashion. I mean, can you guys think of any beers that you don't necessarily like? Something like a style in particular that you're just like, I just can't do it.
No.
I'm unscrupulous beer drinker. I'm all about it.
Come on.
No, there's gotta
some
be
shit.
Well,
I mean, I hate ambers. I don't particularly
Really?
like winter warmers. And those are my two big ones
Okay.
for the most part.
No winter warmers, but you really like you like a Kolsch and stuff.
I mean, I
So,
I can do a Kolsch, but if I'm gonna go that
So that
similar
super sweet
vein,
malty beer.
I'd
can
rather
name-
not do it. I mean, Kolsch would be like my third in that, like
Yeah.
Pilsner, Helles, Kolsch.
Here's the hard part
if
for
you're
me
gonna
with
go
that
there.
question. Beer styles, there's always a great example of a style. And then there's the terrible ones. So I can think of specific beers that are terrible. That
We
I
were
would never
shitting on
drink
Sam
again.
Cherry Wheat earlier. You're stomping
Sam
on
Cherry
my
Wheat.
childhood.
That what's that shipyard
public.
blueberry beer that used to be? like-
Yeah, Shipyard Blue
Yeah,
Dog
Shipyard
Blueberry,
Blue
which
Dog.
also
That
had a
shit
dog on the can.
sucks.
Come on, like
That is
okay.
a bad beer.
Well, Shipyard is as a whole is just not an
So-
awesome brewery in general.
Shipyard, that's actually. I'm glad you brought that up. That is actually, I'll say nice things about almost everyone, except those motherfuckers from Shipyard. All they do is try to sell their pumpkin beer all over this damn country, and they bring like truckloads of their shitty ass pumpkin beer into Colorado, and then we can't sell in our nice, locally made pumpkin beer.
Well, it was the thing they were the ones for
Yeah,
a while.
they
So
were.
it was similarly
That's
to
true. Okay,
Founders
fine. They're the
Founders
first.
All Day being the original session IPA. I mean, other people had done something similar, but they're the ones that really hit it big first. And
yeah.
the difference is that after Founders did their thing, everybody else tried to make session beers, and they were really the only ones that I think kind of stayed at the top. As opposed to Shipyard, they were the only ones doing that. They capitalized on it and just
they-
tried to just like
kind
that was
of-
their season.
They kind of built a market
Yeah.
for pumpkin beers, which is respectable. But then it turns out they didn't actually evolve and make it good.
None.
So that is maybe somewhere where I would say there are breweries that just don't evolve, and I think that is the kiss of death. If the beer market moves.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
yeah,
hazy
yeah.
IPAs now.
Well, one
You
of
can
the
shit
one
on
of the
them all you
reasons
want,
we do
but
this
listen,
podcast
this is where it's going.
there's a ton of parallels between beer and comedy, and that's like somebody getting a good 10-minute set and then never writing another joke ever again.
Yeah.
That's just it. It's just
Yeah,
like,
you're done.
And
You
we all
did
know
it,
those
and
people
that's it.
too. It's like you've been running the same. They're a headliner, but they've been running the same 45 for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
like-
and you might be able to con an audience with that hasn't seen you before, but like everybody else knows that like you're just kind of a hack.
Yeah, but you can't con a
Yeah.
fan. Yeah, everybody gets over it.
Yeah,
Well, that's
'cause-
like, what's the guy that does the redneck jokes? What's his name again?
Jeff
Uh,
Foxworthy.
Yeah, Jeff
Yes.
Foxworthy.
Yeah. Of all those guys, Foxworthy is the second worst.
Second
Yeah.
worst.
Who's the puppet guy? Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham is the
Well,
worst.
he wasn't on the blue
Uh,
collar thing, but he's
oh,
like a
that's true.
hackier, like kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Jokes evolve too. Like, so how do you? I mean, obviously, like the political climate and like all these things that are going on in the world right now probably change what jokes. I mean, you can make and stuff these days. Huh?
Well, I mean, it depends on the audience too. You gotta kind of be aware, like
Yeah.
if you're doing like for you guys, if you're doing like a summer beer fest, you're not gonna show up with a bunch of porters and stouts. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you want to show up with something lighter. So for us, it's like, oh, we're doing a show in like the back of a dive bar in downtown Denver. We can kind of say like some liberal stuff, but if you're doing a show at a field in Erie, Colorado, like we did
Yeah.
the other night,
That was pretty tight,
you gotta
though.
It was a fun time.
That was
but,
pretty tight.
but like even the guy had to say like up front, he's like, we're all like, don't get offended by politics talk, and really all of us were like, oh, so let's not talk about politics.
Right,
Well,
right.
One of those other things too is, and this actually does also apply to beer with certain styles. It depends on your skill set. When it comes to politically charged topics and stuff that's really sensitive, one of the big problems with a lot of open micers,
Oh,
that's the thing about
wind.
Colorado. There's not as many. What are the things that roll across the prairie?
Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds. We don't have tumbleweeds here. We have beer cans. That's the
Yeah.
big difference
Yeah.
in Denver.
Sunnyside, only in Sunnyside.
So the comparison would essentially be the problem with a lot of open micers is that they see all of these really well seasoned professional comics doing very sensitive material, so
Yeah.
they think they they can do it too. But the difference is that those people have been working on it for years, number one, so they know how to write a really good joke. And then number two is they also have the trust of the audience, which is something that gets underrated a lot of times, where the audience is likely going to see them because they're the headliner on the show. They have a set, they have a special, like all that stuff. They're proven, so they're a little bit more on board. If you don't have that skill set, let's say if you tried to brew something like super esoteric and wanted to kind of be known for that, or just something that maybe people wouldn't give a chance to, and if they do, you really got to nail it. That would be the analogy with brewing, I would say.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
They're really very similar industries in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Also, like you said earlier too, it's a lot of the people. It's built on like the people around it, and not necessarily like the shittiness of it. There's the shitty side of it, but it's like there's really cool people that you'll meet.
Right. So, I have some friends like in the beer industry that say things like, "Oh, well, those guys just got lucky and were blessed by the hipster gods up in the sky, and now their beer is the best beer in the world." But there's brewery
Name
over
names.
here, B.
Yeah, we I'll say some comments.
But brewery B can make fabulous beer, but they just haven't been blessed by the hipster's god.
Oh yeah,
the hipster god in the sky.
That happens totally. Like that's.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably maybe even more prevalent in comedy, where it's like sometimes you just perform in front of the right person, and they're like, "We want you to do this big thing.
Yeah.
We want you on Comedy Central because of your 5-minute set that we saw." You tried one. Somebody walked in your tap room, tried one beer, and they're like, "Yep, let's go. We want to do stuff with you." So.
Well, you also fit sometimes with that. You fit a look. You fit something that they're trying to do. Like it's not necessarily that the material could all be the same, but depending on your ethnicity, depending on if you're a man or a woman, depending on sexual orientation, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if it's what they're looking for at the time dictates that a lot. I mean, I'll throw somebody out there. I was just talking to a head brewer from another brewery recently that they were saying that about WeldWorks. Where they were just like, why? Like, it's not that they don't make good beers. I threw out one name.
Okay.
So
Sorry, I hadn't heard of him. I hadn't heard of him.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
nice. But people were saying that about the brewery that you never heard of. Because it's not that they don't make good beers, but they got that hype train.
Yeah,
like,
they got
hard.
the hype train.
But what do you?
And they're holding on to it for, it comes and goes, right?
Yeah. But what do you think that is?
Well, actually, so I think WeldWorks is a little different because they are actually. I think they make really good beer, and they do some nice stuff for the community, and they kind of have the full package.
Sure. Is there a butt coming?
But there's other breweries. There's other breweries that have had the hype train and then have quickly lost the hype train because they haven't maintained their.
Yeah.
Can you name?
You
I mean,
know.
it's
I
like
got one.
man,
I got
it's-
one.
because even
Jolly
if
Pumpkin.
somebody's not
You got
losing
Jolly Pumpkin. They were super
yeah,
cool
Jolly
in
Pumpkin.
Dexter, Michigan, and I'm dating myself because they were before us.
Sure.
And there's been more that have come and gone more quickly than those guys since. But I think of Jolly Pumpkin as like they were huge hype. They're sour, all wood aged, all everything, and now I mean, let's be honest, everyone's doing what they're doing, and it just kind of lost it. So
Right, and it's no knock on the beer itself.
yeah, it's no knock on them, and
Yeah.
it just kind of didn't evolve or keep it going. Or you have to be innovative, and innovative is tough,
Yeah.
especially
absolutely.
when everyone's innovating.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
That's
so.
why nobody likes my comedy when I'm like, you might be Dutch if you have wooden shoes. You gotta come up with new stuff.
But what's the difference between innovating towards the middle or innovating towards the outside? Because with a brewery like,
Question.
all right, so let's say your brewery, Hype Brewery, does hazy IPAs. They do, and they do like fruited slushy sours, and they do pastry stouts really well.
Yeah.
Is that really innovating, or is that
Well, at this
just
point,
like,
it's not. It wasn't
not
innovating
anymore.
2, 3, 4 years ago. It wasn't. That would have been innovative, but not anymore. Now you got to take it another level. We've been thinking about imperially carbonating our beers.
Is this like you shotgunning a double IPA that was actually a seltzer?
No, but there's a new frontier. I'm just joking about that one. But like, there's a new frontier. Who's gonna find it? What's it gonna be?
You had Steve. You didn't have me. All
Okay.
right. So
I'm sold. Yeah. Count me in.
Yeah.
Steve, you're a gullible man.
Because it was hazy IPAs a couple years ago. This year, seltzer has seltzer taken a little bit of the the sexiness away from craft beer this summer?
It's a trend.
Or
I
is it
think.
coronavirus?
I think it's here to stay. Because when you see beer trends, you had root beer a couple of years ago.
root
There was
beer.
apple
That
beers
shit
a
was
couple of years
terrible.
ago. You had like those quickly faded. This one, to be the and granted these numbers are inflated because White Claw is also technically in this category, but seltzers are the number one selling craft beer style.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if that's gonna go away. The other ones made a blip in like the top 20, but I don't know if they were.
I think it
number one.
will. I mean, honestly, I think like ciders will make a longer,
I don't know. What do
like
you?
longevity wise.
Where do you guys see? Because you started your own seltzer brand outside
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
brewery.
But
so,
we
like, where do you
didn't
see-
invent
Seltzer's sticking
seltzer.
around.
Yep. We think it's sticking
For
around.
sure.
Yeah, because that's just attracting a different part of the consumer's
Yeah.
brain completely. It's not like I like sweet things. No, it's because you can get that from a variety of different beverages, right?
Yeah.
The seltzer market specifically targets somebody that's looking for some flavor,
Yeah.
but they ultimately want low carb, low cal.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the next?
Or just like it just got
Doritos
some-
seltzers. You heard it? Doritos variety pack.
Chili seltzers for sure.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's next? I don't know.
Yeah.
If we knew, we'd be working on it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. So if you knew, you'd be way ahead of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you're way ahead of it, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Just
Zima.
ask the fucking Zima guy. Yeah,
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 Zima.
yeah. boom, boom, boom.
But
Wow, you beat me to a punchline.
I wouldn't call it a punchline. to be fair.
All right, all right.
But speaking of that, I'm curious as to we had talked about Princess Yum Yum before, and that wasn't the first. Was that one of the first beers you guys made?
Nope. That was in we made that beer in year 4 or 5, somewhere in there.
This happens a lot with breweries, is that you set out with the intention of what your flagship's going to be, but then it winds up being something else because it wasn't up to you.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you
Right.
see that coming at all? Like when did you know that you were like, hey, we need to really ramp this up and kind of make it the flagship almost?
Oh, I don't.
We've
think
never
we
done
ever
that.
Decided that.
Oh, really? It was.
Like,
I mean, when
we
you say
say that
a lot of times when
That's
people
funny,
say number
yeah.
one seller, they're just like, oh, this is our flagship beer.
Well, I think we're better. We're I think equally as well known for Graham Cracker Porter,
Yeah, that's
which
yeah.
doesn't
Which is
sell even
what
close as well as
Having
Princess
right
Yum
now,
Yum.
which is
Yeah.
fantastic, by the way. I love
Yeah.
this beer.
Because
That's
that was
what
the
I
fourth
knew,
batch of beer we
yeah.
made. And that beer won a bronze medal at the Great American Beer Festival.
In the porter
Like-
category, or
Yeah,
was
We
it-
had
2011.
open for 3
2011.
days.
Specialty beer.
When,
that's what I was wondering
Yep.
if it was fell into an adjunct category or something.
Mm-hmm. That was a really fun beer because that's a beer Charlie had wanted to make for a really long time, and that's a beer that was in our original business plan. And
That was the beer that I was introduced to Denver Beer Company with. My friend
Really?
was like, "You got to check out this Graham Cracker Porter. It's so good." And then it was great. It's delicious.
Yeah, it is exactly what it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not your summertime swimming pool, naked on a raft like, Patrick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's definitely got a time and a place that is, take it out by a campfire in the summertime and go hike it up to the top of a 14er. It tastes great at the top of a 14er.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially
So-
when it's a little chillier than it was
Yeah,
at the base.
yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
When it comes to competitions and medals and shit like that, how much stock do you guys put on it? Because the old, I don't know, the old adage is medals matter when you win them and then they don't when you don't.
Right.
So
Yeah.
how do you
well,
guys
the
actually
judges
feel
know
about that?
exactly what they're talking about when you win them. And when you don't win them, it's all fucking subjective.
Yeah,
So
with
no,
300
100%.
entries into a
Yeah.
category and 6 people trying them in different waves.
It's so
Yeah, how
subjective.
could it
Right.
possibly go wrong?
But you
sometimes
are
it's
talking
like-
to the winners of more gold medals than any other Colorado brewery in the last 4 years.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you
the
very
best
much.
punchline I've heard on the show the entire time.
Not a joke. Not a joke.
It is. I mean, competitions are weird in the same sense in comedy too, where it's like, I've done comedy competitions. Those exist. They're the worst. I hate them because
Yeah, how
I
do you-
don't do well. I don't do
Yeah.
well at them. And it's like I know I
that's why they're
perform
the
well,
worst.
but then you'll see. One time I saw a judge's score sheet, and it was totally favored towards their friend. It turns out.
Was this New Faces?
No, this was up in South Dakota.
Gives a
But
shit about
You did comedy in
exactly.
South Dakota?
Oh, dude, I've done comedy in the
comedy?
shittiest places. Yeah, just the worst. Yeah, Rapid City, South Dakota. There was a comedy competition, and one of the judges clearly favored their friend. I saw the score sheet.
That's bullshit.
Everybody gets 6 and 10s or 6 and 7s, and their friend gets 10s, and it is bullshit. And that's the thing is
Yeah.
is there really a way of knowing that it's going to be fair? I'm just bitter. That's all it is.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just-
that's the same deal. So, I mean, I'll say this just because it's of interest to the show, but I made it to the finals of the New Faces contest last year down at Comedy Works.
Okay.
And it's one of those deals where any other competition, you're like, if you don't advance and you don't really know why, you're like, whatever, it's just a competition, doesn't matter. You can juke the stats with people that you bring, or you just didn't have it that. It's usually never you didn't have it that night, right? It's just
And-
for whatever reason. But then going to the finals of that, or
You're like,
winning
"Fuck
that,
it, hell yeah, I'm the best.
like our buddy Derek Stroop won it this past year, and it's just you use that as a credit, right?
Mhm.
It's strange how
Right.
that works. When you don't win, you discredit it, and then when you do win, you brag about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's marketing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But how often do you guys tote that kind of stuff? I mean, is it on the menus? Like, do you put it on packaging?
You don't put it on the cans. I
We
know
don't
it's
put it on the
organic.
cans. Graham Breaker Porter has it on its box that it comes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We try to do social media posts here and there, reminding people that, our wooden barrel aged beers are two or 3 years in a row in the gold medals.
Yeah, we've won a lot of gold medals for wood and barrel aged beer.
And that's something I don't think
Yeah.
of you guys for.
Exactly.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Not necessarily. I mean, I just haven't had much. To be honest, whenever I go into the tap rooms
Yeah.
or when I see something out and about, it's usually Princess Yum Yum.
Yep,
and
totally.
then when I'm just stopping at the tasting room or something, I've gravitated away from bigger ABV like stouts and barrel aged stuff,
Yeah.
just because of the fact that, like, if I'm hanging out with some friends, like, I want to have something light and sessionable that I can have a couple of, right?
And that's what we're known for, hanging out with friends and drinking beer, right?
Yeah.
Not sitting at home by yourself, popping a bottle and analyzing every flavor that comes
Looking
off.
over your divorce papers, yeah.
Right.
Oh, you said that. Yeah, where you're ripping on
Yeah,
some
what is
people.
the best beer for looking over your divorce papers? don't
I would
even know.
imagine that it's a half and half.
Vodka straight. Yeah.
I mean, you married a Vanderplug, so.
Oh, yeah, let's touch on that.
Yeah,
two
let's talk about
couple
it.
of Dutch boys.
My
I don't know if you
wife's-
guys are going to be able to see this in the
My
video.
wife's
We'll
maiden
definitely take a
name is
picture.
my wife's maiden name is Vanderplug. So I'm not Dutch.
You look
but
it, though.
my entire family is, or immediate family.
My entire I'm not
is-
Dutch, but my
is-
whole family.
So I went on a with my father-in-law, my wife, my kids. They all are Dutch.
Yeah.
I'm the outsider on this one. So you have to tell me.
Oh, they're great people. Your
Okay.
family sounds awesome. They sound hilarious.
The Plugs?
and- yeah. Yeah, the old Vanderplugs.
My wife's voice is
Deep-
not exactly
deep and
the same as
raspy.
yours, so I'm a little thrown off here. 'Cause looking at you, I'm like, you're pretty sexy.
Steve,
but
can
other
you do us a
than-
favor
Within a
and just
talk,
say,
yeah.
"Oh, Charlie," into the microphone?
I'm working on my voiceover
Yeah, that's
acting,
it.
so. Oh, Charlie. There it is.
If you could, Steve's trying to work on his
Yeah.
voiceover work, so if you could give him a little script of what you guys talked about in bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mrs.
Okay.
Mrs.
I think I can
Vanderploeg's
see
gonna
where-
love this
I think I
podcast.
can see where I'll write you a little script.
Yeah.
This is good.
Let me be the voice of Denver Beer Company. Hey, pumpkin. You want some big juicy freak? Come and get it.
Nice. Was that it?
That was
We're
the
in there,
script.
yeah.
You're just thinking
Yeah,
about
that's
work
good.
all the time that you use your beer names when you're hanging out with your wife.
I know. Well, the good news is that if you're somehow weirdly we find out related to my wife, at least you're not related to me.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's the good news.
Yeah. For you.
Well, the in-law situation.
Yeah, because then he would come around asking for a job next week. Just
Yeah.
like, hey, we're
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his
Absolutely.
blood.
Yeah.
You guys said you were going to throw some more shade our way, and it seems to me I'm just ripping on poor old Steve.
Oh,
so
no,
much.
no.
No, I like it. It's
Okay.
good.
We got some time still.
We tried.
Well, we're out of
we-
beer. Should I go
here's-
grab us some more beer?
You grab some beer.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm interested in talking
I'll be right
about.
back.
You guys are 100% solar energy here. Boom. There
Great
it is.
transition. Tight.
We have a 40,000 square foot solar installation.
Don't get me wrong. I bring up something I really appreciate about you, but I'm still coming for you.
He's got great solar panel material.
40,000 square feet of solar panels. We installed them 2 years ago this winter, and they provide 100% of the power that we use to make our beer.
That's awesome,
That's
man.
Honestly,
incredible.
as we talk to people about what differences, what did the shutdown and what does COVID mean, I think what it should mean is that people need to take a deep, hard look at their small businesses or the way they live their lives and make a change and make a few changes and green it up.
Yeah,
Green it up because
absolutely.
this is the chance. We don't have to go back to what we were. So
Right. Well, and like especially like right when the shutdown was like super prominent, the ozone healed up. We had
Totally.
a super healthy air quality.
oh, there
All the
was
animals
stuff.
started coming back out into the parks.
frolicking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Locals
Comedy-
furious that tourists are returning to their town, says local mountain goat,
Yeah.
just like pissed off that people are there in general. I mean, that's the thing with, we don't have to, but how much are people really looking at that and taking the opportunity to start to
a whole
reevaluate
case
some
full
of
of
their
seltzers.
decisions? Because
Marked his beer.
that's a major investment on your guys' part.
Yeah, it was huge. But there's a payback. Obviously, there's a payback.
Yeah.
It's a good small business decision.
Well,
it's
and
really
it's
fun.
you invest in it for sure.
There's a photo up.
Oh.
Are we
Yeah,
gonna
there's
photo
Mary.
take?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course
take
you
a
can take a
picture.
picture. You can come on the podcast if
Mary.
you want. Oh, you want to do an act natural?
Yeah, I want to see you.
All right, everybody, don't move. No, I'm
This is me acting.
Mary,
this out.
Mary is the coolest accountant at Denver Beer Co. She's
Give
on
it up
the
for
she's
Mary.
on the finance team,
What up, Mary? So,
but I think she's funnier than all of us probably.
There's not a lot-
Especially me.
well, there's not a lot of breweries that do get. There's not a lot of breweries that get enough credit for being sustainable and taking the extra effort because it does cost more money. Because brewing in and of itself takes a lot of money, takes a lot of capital, right? Between all the equipment and then raw ingredients and all that stuff. Are you planning on promoting any of that on your materials or your packaging? or
Yeah, our
anything like
packaging
that?
does say brew to solar power on there. Not on the cans though. It's so expensive to change the cans all the time. That's
And
one
you
of the
only have a
things.
tight amount of space too. Like I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think it needs to be on the can, but it is the thing that people have in their hands the most often while they're looking at your branding, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
Have you guys done a branding like refresh at any point in time? Did you start with something and then it's because I only know your I've lived here for 2 years. I only
Okay.
know your brand as it exists for 2 years.
No,
What a narc.
but someone did tell me the other day that they think we're due.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. Do you think we're due?
I don't
What
think
is-
you guys are. I mean, 9 years is not because we were talking in dry dock. We talked to Kevin about it, and they had the same brand for almost. I think he said like 20, and he was like, "Yeah, it was just time." And it's like at that point, I totally get it.
but on a brand
Well,
refresh, you're not
ships, you know.
necessarily talking about the name. So what is it about?
I mean, the logo, but
What
I
is
mean,
it about your
Oscar
logo?
Blues seems to redo their branding every 3 years. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of breweries once they get to be a certain size start working with marketing companies. Like they hire marketing. They have an entire
firms.
marketing department, and then they wind up going with firms, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like the firm's suggestion all the time is use icons, keep the colors as simple as possible, make them hard 90-degree angles, and take out any flowery kind of imagery that you would normally have associated with your brand.
Okay.
A big brand refresh that you see with a lot of brands, Oscar Blues included. You can say Sam Adams, Harpoon, where I used to work, even Sierra Nevada. They all took out a lot of the dimension of their packaging and not dumbed it down, but just made it a little bit more simple, not as much contrast or as detailed. So I guess I'd be curious to know what you guys think, because the Cerveceria brand has a little bit more it's a couple colors. I'm only looking at one can right now, so I can't speak to
They
the rest
all
of
look
it.
like that though.
Sure, but it's so it's the real pattern shapes.
Chevron is
Yeah,
that.
Chevron.
That's the if you're shopping for baby stuff, Chevron is a is a pattern in color pattern. You'll have to learn.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not as well versed to that. Haven't had to be yet. So they're different clearly
That
different
you know of.
packet. Yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
clear. Yeah. We're still waiting. Somebody might hear this podcast and go, "Dada."
Yeah.
So, with a brand refresh, why do you guys think you need one? Because you said somebody talked to you about it recently. What would you even do?
I don't know, just a little more edgy, but I don't know.
Yeah, just to get a picture of me and Korey on the label, just flipping the world out.
Yeah, a little more urban.
Super edgy. Yeah.
Yeah, just put a BLM sticker on the
Yeah.
side. That'd be a little bit more edgy.
Yeah.
We're gonna use your tattoo there.
You can.
Steve.
I mean, you can.
There's nothing
Skyline.
but there's no
Just
edges on that.
that in
It's nothing
prison,
but
bro?
sprawling
Yeah.
colors.
I was 17. Thank you very much.
awesome.
Yeah, in
And
the
also
prison.
in prison.
He also,
He wasn't
also
allowed-
minor prison. What's that called?
Right, so
Juvie.
Juvie.
Oh, so you got
Yeah.
that juvie.
Yeah,
Just
you
call it
weren't wrong.
JV.
He just wasn't in a real deal
Okay.
prison.
I think I could do that
Yeah.
with a ballpoint pen and a needle.
I actually drew it on him before we came over here. I also double as a birthday clown.
Yeah.
Yeah, side hustle.
All right, well, I'm sick of this bullshit.
Yeah, Charlie's feeling a little pompous. It's time to maybe knock him down a
Yeah.
peg.
Hey, how
You know,
about
I was gonna
those
start. I
nuggets?
was gonna start off
those
easy,
nuggets?
but
Oh, here we go. Oh, good luck, Charlie.
we're now.
What are you gonna read our bad Yelps or what's?
So this is the time we do bad reviews.
Oh,
This
do you
is-
guys read them or do we read them?
we'll have you read a couple
It's a mix.
of them.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I read the first one?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Do you have
So
one up?
essentially, for people
Yeah,
that
have
are
it out.
unfamiliar with our show, we do something similar to mean tweets on late night TV, where
Yeah.
we have the guys read Untapped, which is a beer rating website, and Google and Yelp reviews about their space. We just think it's fun because online reviews you guys are rated very well. I mean, there's a reason you're successful, but there's always somebody at the bottom of the barrel that just has some bullshit to say and feels like they need to be heard. So you guys this beer is called Brad Witt. Familiar with that one?
Must have been a taproom beer.
Do you know this one?
No, it must have been a while ago.
It's been a while. Okay, that's fair. So I'm going to need you to read the name, read the rating on the review, and then read the review itself.
All right. Brad Witt, Denver Beer Co. This is a Witt beer. Not sure what's tainting this brew, but it's noticeable. Band-Aids or dirty socks.
Or dirty socks.
1 star.
I don't know how many dirty socks smell like Band-Aids, but it sounds like you need to change it. Are you guys you guys
That's
brew
a
with a lot
creative
of...
ass beer name though. Do you remember doing that? Brad Witt.
Brad Witt.
That's pretty.
I don't
funny.
even get it.
Brad Pitt.
It's a
Oh,
wit.
God.
I don't know if you knew, but it's a Wit beer.
Yeah.
That's fucking horrible.
From the name.
Thank God that beer
So
sucked.
just to clarify, you guys know these-
The beer was great.
It was
as
good
Snatch.
looking though. It
Such
was
a good.
looking. He didn't know that. He didn't mention how good looking it was.
It was very attractive, and
Symmetrical.
also married to Angelina Porterly. Okay.
Oh, almost. You should have queued that one
I
up.
tried.
That was good. That was good. That's good.
I'll have you read this one.
Okay.
This is on Google reviews. Just read the top and say how
Okay.
many stars.
Can I say who it's from?
Yeah, absolutely. They put it
You
out
need to
there.
blow on that.
Clay Morrison gave me food poisoning.
Tell him, Clay.
That's great, Clay. I'm so glad. I'm so sorry we gave you food poisoning.
By the way, this
we
wasn't
do
an
not
Untapped
even
review.
serve fucking food. So Clay, I don't even know how you got fucking food poisoning.
That just happened to him
Go,
that day.
you fucking idiot.
There is a review that said, "Hey Clay, sorry you aren't feeling well. We don't serve food." Seems like it might have been the food truck. Oh.
But how often do you guys encounter shit like that where you have a food truck or it just seems so random? You're like, how does that even have anything to do with our business?
Yeah, all the time, and I took it so personally for like 4 to 7 years.
Yeah, my answer.
And now I don't-
4 to 7 years. That's a lot.
Like I know, I
Almost
did,
the
I really
entirety of the
did.
brewery.
I was like, oh my God, really sorry you don't like the paint color that we chose for the chairs. But now I stopped caring.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have done
Well,
well
we're here to
enough.
make
that
you
don't
care
need-
again. Care again about reviews from Karen.
And just for the record,
Right.
Steve is reading Google and Yelp reviews,
You're
right?
doing
I've got the Untapped stuff, so know that nobody got food poisoning from the beer.
Okay.
Yeah, no graham cracker or pretzel assassin
true.
food poisoning.
There was one really recently, I don't know if you can find it, that actually kind of stung a little bit.
Do you remember it?
oh yeah, spicy.
I'll look
All right,
for it.
I was
while
going to
you
say,
look,
well,
too.
Charlie, read
All right.
another one. Are you familiar with Red Wedding?
No, I have no idea. Red Wedding.
All right.
Oh yes, it's a Game of Thrones. It's a Game of Thrones reference.
Correct. I would assume so. You should talk to your brewers about it. So there was a
Yeah.
beer named Red Wedding, Denver Beer Company.
Okay. This is from a couple years ago.
Okay, so you can read both of them if you want because
Yeah.
they're both pretty good. So
Okay. Red Wedding. This is a beer we had. It was a red ale, imperial or / double. Double red, I guess. Awful. Smells like PBR and cornflakes.
Which
Tastes
is my
like
favorite.
Gutter water sucked out of dead leaves.
Which I don't know why anybody wouldn't like that.
Gutter water sucked out of dead leaves.
With cornflakes.
So this is a review written by Phil O. Phil O, you need to get your lips off the gutter, bro. Been sucking
Phil
it
O's
How
out.
does
This is the
somebody?
bottom
I
of the
mean, listen.
spout.
Beer geeks and winos use all kinds of weird flavors to describe stuff. It's just like, how the fuck are you
this
figuring
one.
that out, man?
February 2016.
This
Okay,
one.
the next one, Red Wedding. This is horrifying. So thick and strong and bitter. Weird vomity aftertaste. Hate it. Well, so think.
I like my beers thinking strong.
The typos in bad ones also are hilarious.
Of course, because
Oh,
they
yeah,
made
there's-
the
there's some good
that was
ones.
2 stars.
2 stars. Not bad.
Oh, that was 2 bottle caps. I'm not as familiar with.
I don't really use this much, other than when I literally look up bad ones. But it's just so funny to me how somebody would take the time to put together a bad review for somebody and then misspell the whole
Yeah,
thing.
so
Yeah.
think.
So think.
You should be able to rate them back. Like it should
This
be.
one-
It should be like
Yeah.
Uber and Yelp. To be honest with you.
Yeah, so think.
Oh,
What do you
okay.
think about that? What do you
Great.
think you should be able to? You should be able to like rate your consumers back.
I've never left a review on anything.
I did see this one earlier when I was looking.
I leave
through
really
it.
good reviews sometimes.
But
Like
I
if somebody
have some
goes
feedback for him.
if somebody goes above and beyond with service, I'm like, yeah, they deserve some credit. And I always like mention their name and be like, you should give them a raise or
Yeah.
take them out to lunch or some shit like
That's
that.
nice. I should do more.
Shut up, Corey. We have another review in. This wasn't even my choice. This is from Richard Bull, dealer's choice here at Denver Beer Company. 2 stars. Given 2 stars out of kindness. I only had 2 beers, but that was enough to make me never go back. Tried their IPAs, and I think they forgot to add hops. My friend had a stout and Pilsner, and they said it tastes like nothing.
I'm pretty sure this guy has coronavirus.
Yes.
And he should not be at our place. It tastes like nothing. That is the #1 sign.
That is a number, yes.
I think that
absolutely.
we need to call this guy right now.
Can you
and
reply back to him and ask if he's on a respirator?
Yeah. Are you
Or a
okay?
ventilator, I should
Richard,
say.
I hope you're okay. How's your coronavirus?
Richard's
And you should
dead.
send him a case of beer. Just
Yeah.
be like, hey man, seems like you're in pretty rough shape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
send
a
him.
good
Go
one.
in and send him a bunch of big juicy freak that's actually just seltzer.
Yeah.
Gotcha, bitch.
Hey, how's this taste? How's this taste?
Yeah. This poor guy.
All right, Emily Hind. This is from 3 weeks ago, so this is a fresh burn.
Oh, good freshman.
Yeah. 2 stars from Emily Hind. Pretty lengthy process to order and pay. The only brewery/restaurant/liquor store that is consistently denying people that have expired IDs due specifically COVID. Regardless of proof given. Really annoying, and our server was extremely immature about it. And
wonder what proof it was.
I love that because they're probably like, oh, here's my high school ID. A lot of your negative reviews are about like not serving people, and it's like,
Yeah, they're
oh,
expired
sorry,
IDs.
Sorry, we're following the law. Sorry that we have to.
It's really hard.
So yeah,
This isn't a Wild West saloon style establishment.
yeah. I
guess-
can't just
I guess-
invite my 14-year-old nephew to come drink some beer here. Is
What's her
that?
name?
It was gonna be.
She wants it to be.
We had an internal conversation because actually, Steve, it isn't the law that we have to ID people. The law is we can't serve anyone under 21. So we had a very serious internal conversation about whether or not we would accept armpit hair as
DNA
Yeah,
proof.
yeah,
armpit
yeah.
hair is. If you have armpit hair, we'll serve you.
That's
Maybe
better
we
than
should-
grass on the field. That's grass in the bullpen. I guess.
We decided. I think
We can
maybe,
laugh. That was a good one.
maybe you have to have had your braces off for at least a year.
That's
Yeah.
good. I think that's a good serving
Maybe we
policy.
should
You guys
go,
are
"Oh,
trying
you
to
don't have your
expand.
ID? Maybe come in the back and we'll just take a blood sample from you or a fingernail sample, and we'll,
Better than the
subject
Dorito
our
series. If you want to target a younger audience, go with the Jewel series. I
Jewel
think if
series,
you all
yeah.
the Jewel flavors, get all the pods.
Oh yeah.
Start
Why don't
ripping
we?
them.
Are those still a thing?
Oh, they're
Oh, I
definitely
know.
a thing.
Still? Didn't they got shut down or something? Didn't they?
No, those are just the high schools that provide them. That's just where you get them.
All right, I got one more on the Untapped. It's for the
right.
same beer, Red Wedding.
Oh boy.
This beer.
And
This
then
beer
I'm,
is-
so I'm
Sounds
gonna
like
have
this
you.
was a miss.
I'm gonna have you.
You know what? You know what? For anyone who's listening and is concerned, Red Wedding might have sucked. It might have sucked, but that brewer quit.
They're not here anymore.
I won't say his name, but well, to be honest,
Yeah, that's fierce.
it's water under the bridge.
Not great. So,
Was that
so
the
I'm
name?
gonna have
That
you
was the beer, too.
read the review and then swipe to the left. Okay.
Red Wedding. Dylan C. left this Red Ale Imperial Double. The bar dogs send their regards. 2.25 stars.
Okay. And then
So he
swipe
gave
left.
us a full quarter star. Okay, and then if I swiped left, oh, you're showing me a picture of the dog brew by Bush. This is a pork bone broth that we saw last week. This just came out, and it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Bush, Anheuser-Busch, made a
dog
dog
beer.
beer.
Yeah.
Legit dog beer. 12 ounce can.
So what I'm saying is you need to
pork
bring
bone
Red
broth.
Wedding back. I know you said that you
Yeah.
shouldn't brew it anymore and you're glad it's gone, but I think you should give it a go.
Yeah, Willie here looks thirsty.
Wow. Wow, that beer got bad.
Well, we do have a really good idea for a dog beer name.
What's that?
Should we say it on the air?
I don't know.
Oh, do you want to give away
Patent
trade
pending.
secrets?
Patent
This is a trade secret. But if we give it away here,
Give it away.
Then-
Give it away now.
Yeah, no, we should really do it. But if you guys want a fresh, hot scoop,
yeah.
Really?
take. You have a million listeners. Let's go over that again.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. The quality does not reflect the viewership.
Well, our attorney told us it was not trademarkable anyway because we
Yes.
tried,
So,
so it doesn't matter.
I like that you brought the law into this.
So actually, we were gonna have a big party this summer out here that got canceled, coronavirus.
Right.
And it was gonna be a big dog party with a bunch of dogs. It was all about dogs, dog pools, dog
Hell
obstacle
yeah.
courses,
That
to
rules.
walk around dogs, maybe even dog petting contest, dog aesthetic contest, all the things, right?
Yeah.
And we were gonna brew and serve white paw.
Man, missed opportunities.
Yeah, but then
think that
BLM
can
got
sell,
real
right?
upset about that. They're like,
true.
"We're not
Whatever.
having
By the
that."
time they hear about it, the party's already over. You know.
That's
So
true.
Don't call the cops.
All right.
Well, is there any other events or releases that you guys have coming up that you want to tell everybody about before we get out of here?
I
First
have
of all,
another review.
Oh, you got another review? I thought we were
Yeah.
trying to end on a high note.
I
'Cause
have-
you ruined that the last week when you were like, hey, we're ready to end
I'll
the show.
ruin it. I'll
And then
ruin it.
Steve read a review that we literally had to cut out of the show and contributed nothing.
This is 1/8 of my podcast. This one is from a year ago, and I accidentally screenshotted the name, so I don't know who it was. But this one says 2 stars. Whoever says DBC has the best beer in town is out of their minds. Seriously, spend your money elsewhere on a brewery that makes good beer. You can literally go next door and have much better beer. Cerveceria.
I haven't heard that one. I haven't heard that
Hell
one.
yeah.
That's great. So that's funny. So we had a bunch of people who refused to go to the Cerveceria. These people that were really big fans of Denver Beer Co. and said, who the fuck would open up a brewery right next to Denver Beer Co? Fuck those guys. I'll never go there. And people like protested going to Cerveceria, even though it's
That's
obviously
hilarious.
ours.
There's it's all the same. Yeah, people just don't get it. That's great.
Yeah.
See,
That was
I didn't
nice of them, though.
totally
I'm
blow
glad.
it this
I appreciate
time.
it. Yeah.
Saved the day. So
Yes.
the statement remains the same. Is there anything you guys would like to promote before we get out of here? Because the show is going to air on Monday, and if you got something that you want to like to hype people about,
Well, September 18th, we're doing a bike-in movie up here at our production brewery. This is not a place where we normally host folks, but you know, it's super
big spot.
coronavirus
It's
good for
friendly.
social
You
distancing. There's a lot
ride a
of
bike
space.
up, and we'll give you a nice big spot. Bring a chair, and we'll show Top Gun this time.
okay,
Fun.
no dog obstacle courses this time.
No
This-
dog.
Not this event.
Just
Yeah.
sexy
Set
volleyball
up
scenes.
A pizza. You should set up a people
Yeah,
obstacle course.
sells
really.
out quick, so you know, buy your ticket when you hear this.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly.
Where can they
I'm
find those
just-
tickets? Our million listeners that we have.
Facebook, right? There's a
Probably.
link. on the
Rotating
Facebook
Tap
event.
comedy page on
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram. We can share that for you guys too if you want to get it out.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just thinking about a lot of our customers, on-premise restaurant customers. I think this winter and this fall is going to be kind of tough for them, and so I would encourage everyone in the next couple weeks, while it's nice out, to go eat some delicious food and drink a Denver Beer Co. beer
Hang
on
out
the
on the
patio.
you know.
Because I don't know what's going to happen this winter.
The
So-
weather. I mean, Colorado weather. That's what I was taught. Like, because we still have shows planned, and there's winters here where it's snowing mid-September.
Yeah.
And there's winters here where it doesn't snow until January. So definitely, like, we're trying to take advantage of it. Everybody should do.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the way we see it, when things start to move back indoors, it's obviously going to depend on the numbers and where we're at with new cases and whatnot. But bars and restaurants, to your point, are going to be trying to do as much business as they can within the confines that they can, right? So
Yeah.
within government regulations. So we're probably we'll see where we're at in November, October, but we're probably going to start doing indoor shows again. We've been doing outdoor shows all summer,
Yeah.
but we're not going to violate any protocol or rules.
Or people.
Yeah, or people.
Yeah.
Throw that in there.
Definitely throw that in there. But the idea was essentially like these businesses are going to be trying to fill this space, whether we're the ones helping them or not. So like whether it's trivia or a guy on acoustic guitar or whatever the hell,
Yeah.
we want to be able to help and support that too.
Tip your bartender.
Tip your bartender.
Tip your bartender and tip them at least 20%
think
minimum.
so.
Don't.
Should have done that to begin with.
Yeah.
But check out the Rotating Tap page on Instagram and Facebook for some of our upcoming live shows. We're just excited to have some I don't know. We got a couple new breweries
It's called
in the mix.
stand-up comedy. Yeah, new.
Yeah,
breweries.
we've just got a couple new people that we're working with, so we're pretty stoked about that. So check the schedule. And thank you guys so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for doing
Yeah.
it.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.